All right, time for Jim George, professor of the universe. He's in the studio. We're going to talk to Jim about things like UFOs, picking up future congresswomen, and all blondes, Jim. There was all blondes in that spaceship.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Like I told you, they're probably all men.
Just don't ruin my dream. Would
Yeah.
you? I'm just wondering, has this ever happened to you ever?
No, I can't say as it ever has.
I think it says more about me, though, than about the aliens. The fact that I've never been abducted, I think it's me.
They need a bigger ship.
Even if it was bigger, they probably would say, yeah, I don't know about him. Just stay away from this guy.
Yeah.
So how you doing?
Doing good, thank you. Very busy. Very, very busy.
Does the heat ever affect what you're trying to do?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. The heat's killing me because we're outdoors all day, pulling wire into trenches and pounding stakes in the ground, taping the wire to the stakes because we're putting in an RV park. So the wires have to come up.
They're putting in a whole RV park.
Whole RV park.
Wow,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Wild Frontier is doing phase 2, be 222 more units.
Oh, my gosh.
Where's Wild Frontier? Where's that?
It's right behind the Ford Motor Company on north of town, which is where Parker Tire is, where America's Choice RV Park.
Okay.
I mean,
441.
Behind
that.
Yes, right behind that. Yeah.
Nice.
You can get to it off of Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Wonderful.
Do you remember Music and Marine? Does that name ring a bell?
Music and Marines. No, it doesn't.
Ocala Music and Marine. And then it went to Ocala Marine. It's that
Ocala
area
Marine,
of
I
the
know.
boat,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
It's the same store, just without the music part?
Yeah.
It was an interesting combination. A store that sold guitars and boats.
Yeah.
Yeah. They dropped the music and went just to boats.
Just strumming along as you go.
I had a friend that bought a boat there. He got out onto 441. Some guy hit him.
Oh,
just
man.
killed the boat. So
Probably just before the insurance was applied to
yeah,
it.
right. So that was not a pretty sight.
No.
What did they do? How did they remedy that, or did they not?
No, they did remedy it for him. Yeah. Because they said just because he was going, and it wasn't his fault, it was the other guy's fault. So they.
Oh man.
So that must have. Yeah, we were in town maybe only 2 months, and I was driving along 441 heading north, and there was another car heading towards us going south on 441.
Oh no.
And the light turned red, and he couldn't stop in time. But he tried to stop, and the boat came off the trailer and went right through the back of our car.
Oh my God!
Right to it was a station wagon, so my daughter was in the back and to the station. Kids talk about the reason I'm dramatic the way I am. You imagine a boat coming heading straight towards you.
Thank God she wasn't hurt.
I know, unbelievable.
Wow,
Right through the back of our station wagon.
Oh my God!
Yep, heading to us head first.
Oh, thank
the guy
God.
was very apologetic, and he actually owned a body repair shop over in. Brooks, Booker, not Booker. Yeah, I think Bronson. And we drove over there and he fixed it for us.
Oh my, he should have given you a new car.
He fixed it for us. Yeah.
Oh my
But those
God.
traumatic incidences. That's like a UFO heading straight towards you. What is that? That's a boat coming right at you.
Yeah.
Oh
On
my
dry
God.
land? Yeah, I'm afraid so.
Wow.
You know, actually, there could be a UFO, an unidentified floating object.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen one of them?
Only at the beach.
Yeah.
What is that? And my wife says, never mind.
Don't touch it. Whatever it is, just don't touch it.
Leave it alone. Walk away.
Don't touch that thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting ready to have our pool resurfaced. I resurfaced it myself about 6 years ago, and then it needed it again. And so I was going to do it myself, but I'm working so much. I said, there are people who make a living out of resurfacing pools. I'm just going to find one and have them resurface my pool.
Oh, there's somebody that just resurfaced the pool at my mom's apartment complex.
Oh,
They
really?
did a great job. Yeah.
Yeah, but get the name
Great
from me.
job.
Maybe I'll
Okay.
give them a call
Okay.
and say, hey, what's it going to cost to come do my pool?
Real nice guy, my mother said.
Well, great. Yeah, I'll use them. I'll be glad to.
Speaking of painting holes in the ground, there was a story yesterday.
I heard that. No.
There was a story yesterday about an artist at a museum in Portugal who did a piece of art called the Great Unknown or something like that, right? And all it was a perfectly round circle hole cut into the floor of the museum that went 8 feet deep. And he painted the entire thing black, the bottom and the sides, right? And so some guy walked into it thinking it was a big dot, but it was a big hole.
Yeah.
Oh, and he fell in.
He fell in. 60-year-old man fell into the hole. Now he's got some back issues, etc.
Oh, of course.
Wow.
But my thinking, Jim, is this: how does the museum justify paying for that and calling it art? How is that art? A
hole in the wall, hole in the floor. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's art.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you've seen those 3-dimensional art figures like a sidewalk.
Yeah.
Chart.
Well, on
those
photos.
are unbelievable.
Yeah, those are
photos.
amazing.
I've seen them.
Oh, I've seen them are real.
Have you?
Oh, they're unbelievable.
You have to stand in the.
You look at it, you walk around, you're sure it's going down. There's stairs going down, and everything is unbelievable.
But you have to stand in the exact right spot, right?
I didn't walk around it all that much.
Be in the right angle, because
Wow.
there's a thing called installation art that I find interesting. It looks like a pile of junk, and you go, "What the heck is this?" But when you stand in the exact spot, it looks like a face, or it looks like yeah. So they put like a chainsaw and a garbage can, and
I have some of that in my house.
some leftover meatloaf, and everything is all together, and it looks like a big mess.
Yeah. This time my wife just clean that mess up, I'll say, honey, that's art.
There you go.
That's art.
That's right.
Wait a minute. How long
There
do you
go.
let leftovers stay in the refrigerator before you throw them away?
Right. They usually don't get thrown away. I usually do eat leftovers.
Me too.
Yeah.
What about your wife?
Same way. She loves leftovers. She calls it a smorgasbord.
Hot dogs that have been in the fridge a week?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Really?
Crunchy.
Mine go away. I mean, after 4 days, it takes all I can muster.
Oh, I see.
I can't keep them in there anymore. I got to throw them away. So you and Larry are on the same
Well, we
page.
eat that.
You
Yeah,
can
we eat them.
be
Us
there
guys that eat
forever.
anything. What is that? I don't know. Give it to me. Let's see. It doesn't smell all that bad. and the clue is in all that, doesn't spell all that bad.
That's right.
I have a technology question for you that has to do with politics. I'm just curious what you think when you hear these stories about the hacking into the elections system. So, I mean, from the average person like us, we say, "Oh, is that possible? Oh, wow, if that's happening, that's not good." But then these guys who know more about it, like you, will say, "Well, wait a minute, how is that even possible?" So, what are your thoughts when you hear those stories?
No, it's possible. I guess you reported on a story. It was either this week or last part of last week about 11-year-old and a girl that was like 10 years old or something hacked into the Florida election. It was a simulation, but it had all the elements, and they were able to get around all the firewalls.
Strange, though.
Yeah.
All the firewalls.
I mean, you have one powerful Senator Nelson saying we were hacked, and you have these other powerful people in other positions saying no, there's no evidence of that. And it's like, well, wait a minute, there was that story about that 11-year-old.
Yeah, they can hack right in.
11-year-olds, yeah.
That's a software that just keeps hitting the server, asking it questions, and some people call it denial of service. What it does, it intimidates the server in the sense that it's overwhelmed by what it's being bombarded by, and in that brief moment when it's trying to think about what to do next, because it's picking up software to load to try and stop it, they get through.
Now, Larry and I had voted early, and at the Brian Litz building, and then and then we put our ballots inside this box, and then it counts to show who, how many have voted. Now, is that box hooked up to like a central unit, or at the end of the voting, is that box taken away and physically taken to a central unit and hooked up?
Yeah, it can be both.
Internet?
It can be instantaneous, or that way the person who does the counting will have an idea as to how many people have voted early, or it can be done the day of the day before the polls open. Let's say that box is delivered someplace else because it's no longer going to be there. Now, if it's the one that's going to stay there, then fine. It's hooked up to the internet. Yeah.
Oh, it is hooked up to the internet then.
They can tell you exactly how many people have voted to date.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they don't have to call a precinct guy and say, go over and look at the number and tell me how many have scanned.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
Do you want to do a phone call?
Oh, sure. Why not? Why not?
Get your headset on. You'll be able to hear the caller. Good morning. You're on the air with Jim.
Good morning, Jim. Larry, Robin. You know, we voted early also, and whenever I go to that box, if there's something to vote for, I'm there. But every time I look at that box and you have to put your ballot in there, I go myself, what a giant shredder.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's, you know, you got a chance to vote early. I don't mind. I'd rather vote early than stand on a real long line. But I don't know what to tell you with what's going on in our country. But it seems to me we're losing it little by little, almost every day. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I like to vote the day of the election only because I'm a people watcher.
Mm-hmm.
You stand in line, there's all people before you, people after you, and they're all having these conversations about what's going on.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then you get in line and they want your card and you show them your card and, okay, go to that line over there, grab this ballot over here. You know, you look around and say, this is interesting. This is like them all.
Well, what comes to mind for me, because we do interviews with people, like we just did one with Kathy Bryant.
I heard it.
Some people already voted, and her interview might have influenced somebody.
Yes.
And then it would be too late, you know. So one of the things I think, I mean, early voting is a good thing and it's convenient. But I think maybe campaigning needs to somehow start earlier so that the candidates know, okay, I better get my act together and do all my interviews before the first day of early voting.
Exactly.
Yes.
Not before the election day.
That's right.
Oh, I agree.
That's right.
Because there are some people that are on the ballot that I have no idea who they are, and those little mailers you get in the mail, you know, they go immediately right into the garbage can.
I mean, me too. I mean,
you can't even look at those things. I mean,
well, wait a minute. I have something to tell you. I killed a roach the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't want to touch it.
And that came in handy.
Yes.
Scooper.
That little thing that I got in the mail worked perfectly.
Yes.
It was stiff enough. And that roach just slid right onto it.
Right on.
It's nice and glossy.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's
in
right.
the garbage can.
I just thought I'd share that little hack with you.
Yes.
You ready for another phone call?
I am ready. I'm ready.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, everybody. See, we always vote by mail, and it always works out real fine.
I used to do that too until they started the early voting, but I enjoyed that also.
Yeah. See, Mr. George, I'm wondering if you might be able to. I've got a very close friend that's talking all electric cars. And I'm just wondering what he's getting himself into. Would you happen to know, would you have to have a special rig up in your garage to plug into, or you just can use any outlet?
No, it's an actual transformer device that you hang on the wall, and then you would plug it into the electric, and then you plug the car into the device. The device is just like your cell phone charger. It's going to trickle charge. It's going to know when your battery in your car is fully charged. It's going to, it's a very smart box. So you just when you get the car, you get the charger with it.
Yeah, I living here, what she does too, subject to power outages for sometimes maybe up to a week because of hurricane threats and that. If you don't have a generator to power that, you're going to be without a vehicle.
Yep, you'll be stranded. And even if you did if you wanted to make any kind of a long trip, you'd have to have an up-to-date list of all the charging stations and where they're at.
Yeah. I was going to say, now, would that be run off a regular 110?
It would be.
Yeah. Okay, I was just, would you be putting a lot of expense like running an air conditioner or something like that?
No, actually it draws very, very little current. And just about, I don't think the mall has a charging station here yet. I didn't drive around the total mall, but when you go over to
Market Square,
Dick's Sporting Goods and those kind of areas, they all have them. They're everywhere. But they put them way on the edge because, that was convenient to get to the electric, in the first place. So it's not right in front of it isn't like a handicap parking where it's right in front. No.
Yeah, it's probably a deal like where you plug in every night, huh?
Exactly, every night.
Okay, well, when I talk to him next time, I'll tell him all the good news. So he's really excited about having an all-electric car.
Yeah.
But like I say, we don't have any hurricane threats. It'll be okay.
Yes. But they don't have much torque. I understand they have great pickup and great speed, like the Tesla can go like 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds. But I understand the torque, the ability to pull isn't there yet.
Oh, really?
But I'm sure they'll get around that.
Yeah, they're really improving them. On TV a couple of weeks back, they were talking about Norway, that the year 2020, all gasoline engines will be outlawed. You have to have everything's going to be electric.
And that's in Norway?
Norway, yeah.
All right, well, good for them. Maybe they can run it on fish oil. Yeah, who knows? All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
So would there be room to put a solar panel on there
It would look ugly, but the
or-
answer is yes, you could do that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they even make little hand generators. I mean, they're the size of a milk carton almost, just a little bit bigger.
Oh.
I mean, a gallon jug.
Uh-huh.
Little small handle. You pull it, it cranks up, and you could use that to charge your car.
Oh my
Keep it in the
gosh.
trunk.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So what is exactly is the difference between the regular 110 in the house and the 220 for the dryer? How come they can't all be the same?
The motor would work better, more efficiently with more voltage, whereas the lower voltage, let's say the 120, the motor just uses more current to operate.
Oh.
And that's why we talked last week about Eli the Iceman trying to keep the voltage and the current in phase,
Right.
so that your bill doesn't go up too high.
Oh,
But,
okay.
but something that has a capacitor in it, like a refrigerator, when that thing cuts on,
Mm-hmm.
if you were outside and you had the old meter that spins,
Mhm.
you would see it go, whee, it goes real fast and then slows down because there was that initial startup.
So you slow down.
I slow down, yeah.
Robin slows up.
I do. I slow up.
I didn't think about that for a while.
I slow up.
Do you speed down or you speed up?
Speed up.
You speed up and you slow up.
Yeah.
So
Speed up and
There.
slow up.
She's an up person.
it's just difference in the parts of the country.
Yes, yeah. That must be a Milwaukee thing.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's right.
They slow up there.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Did you know there was
Good morning.
a nude scene in the Frozen?
Oh, I heard from you, but that's when I came in and said they have body doubles for Dumbo. Maybe we should apply.
Oh,
Yeah.
they have a new phone coming out this morning. The Galaxy, what is it called again?
9A or something like that.
What, like, they're not cheap, right? These
Oh,
phones?
no.
Okay, so I mean, why? This is kind of asking an opinion, but why do you think people are so willing to buy the next and greatest thing if it's going to be like $900? Why? If mine is working fine, why would I get something?
Exactly. Mine works fine. I think it's the cheapest cell phone they make that still does texting, and allows on the internet. But my wife went out and bought a new one only because she had a problem with her memory. Both her physical memory and the phone memory, but with her memory and the phone, because it didn't hold that much. And the new ones came out with a huge amount of RAM, huge amount of memory. And so she bought that one because she was always changing SIM cards, put another card in to get more memory and then put another one in. So now the one she has is like 3 phones in one as far as memory. And she's very happy with it. But there's a learning curve. I mean, the first week she had it, she could hardly figure out how to answer the phone. How to send text. Now she's getting more efficient at it.
Yeah.
But it's still, a cell phone may do 100 things and you only use it for 3.
That's really true.
You take a
Do
picture.
you know what I wanted to share with you? I got a little story to tell you. All right, one of the things that you can produce music with on the computer is called GarageBand. Have you heard of GarageBand?
No, not GarageBand.
It's just a soft.
My neighbor had a garage band.
It's just a software. It's an app or whatever. Okay, and I had it on my computer, but I wanted to use my computer for Photoshop, and it didn't have enough memory or whatever.
Yep.
So I went back to factory settings. In other words, got rid of everything. And I said, I don't care what's on this computer. I'm just going to get rid of everything and start when it was brand new.
Yep.
Photoshop loaded perfectly. Everything's perfect. Then I go to re-download GarageBand, and the message comes up. You need a such and such. You need a better computer for this, a higher. Meanwhile, I just had it, but I guess GarageBand has changed, so it's better, and my old computer is no longer compatible with it. It's so disappointing.
Well, you could download some drivers. So go online
You think?
And download a driver for GarageBand. Just type in that driver for GarageBand.
Yeah.
And what it does, it's that in-between handshake between the update like Windows 10 and Windows 7. It's that in-between handshake that will allow you to bring it in.
Really?
Yes.
And that'll do it.
Yeah. Because it will interrogate your computer and ask it what kind of driver does it have in it now, what kind of I/O open and close port does it have, and then when it knows what it is, it says okay, driver available, and then you click on it and the driver gets loaded. Then once the driver gets loaded, you can download GarageBand.
So Robin asked a question this morning, and I answered it, but I don't know if I'm right. Okay, so her question was, and I'm going to tell you my answer, and you just tell me if I got it or not. Her question was, well, couldn't you load GarageBand onto your newer external drive? And I said, I don't think so. I think that can only hold files, but not programs. Am I right? Or
you can download a program. So
you can put a program on that external.
Yeah. So I'm not familiar with it as much as somebody else, but Marion Technical Institute, when I was there helping teach one day a week, one of the instructors said to me, because I had to buy another computer and I was having problems loading programs. And he said to me, I never load programs onto my computer. He says, I load programs onto my external hard drive. And then if my computer crashes, I don't care about it. I have the program and the files.
I never knew you could
on
do
an
that.
external hard drive.
Robin?
That's what I said. I said, how do you do that?
So Robin had it right. You were right. You could do it that way. Okay, I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
What's the question? Because I wasn't sure.
Well, it's newer and it's probably got whatever it needs, but I thought it had to be on the computer.
Also, something you could try is do something backward compatible. You could try opening something that was in GarageBand. Your computer's going to say to you, it's incompatible with your, okay. Do you want to search for a program to open it on your computer or search for a program on the internet? You say internet. And then when it goes, it finds GarageBand and says, you need to download this. You say yes. And normally the drivers will come with it because you already have a file saved.
Ah, that is a smart idea too.
Either way.
All right, I'll try all of the above. See which one.
Yeah, I don't know how that. I've never been one to put my programs on my hard drives, but this guy loaded every single program there was on a hard drive. That way he could give the computer away. He wanted to give it to one of his students or whatever.
Makes sense.
There's no programs on it. I mean, there might be Windows operating system.
Right, sure, yeah.
But
they have to, right?
But there again, he had Windows 7 operating. He had Windows 10 operating. He had like 3 or 4 different operating systems on the hard drive. Mm-hmm. And depending upon what was sent to him, he would just go to the hard drive, open that up, and then incorporate the file that was sent to him.
Wow.
Because it was compatible. Yeah.
I love that. Can we take you home?
Well, I'm thinking what I would do,
we get some tickets to Frozen. Maybe that would help.
I would type, oh boy. I would be thinking that, just type in that question. How do I do this or how do I do it? And Google will answer it. Mm-hmm. By Google, I mean, they'll send you to a site of people that respond to these answers.
Yeah, but we trust you because you know so much.
Watch this. I have the
and
smartphone.
You share everything.
Let me ask you.
You got a stylus?
I do have a stylus, yes.
See?
Right there. See the stylus?
I don't have a stylus. Oh, yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, I have to charge it, though. Okay, ready? Some of them you don't have to charge, right? Okay, watch this. Hey, who is the professor of the universe? That's what she said.
I don't have that information in the professor of the unit.
The president of the unit. See, she's never. Mine is stupid. I have a stupid smartphone.
Well, I know a lot of people like to talk to their computer and it turns it to text. But have you ever seen what it does sometimes when you talk to it?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
You want to be careful how you pronunciate.
Do you know Mr. Hawk? Not. I don't mean Bob Hawk. I mean Mr. Hawk, H-O-C-K.
Mm.
I'm not going to say it on the air. His first name is Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just try telling your computer to look up that. Try telling your computer to look up his name.
Yeah.
See what you get.
Wow.
Boy, talk about offensive.
Just so you know. All right.
Thank you. Another great day in downtown Ocala.
Any plans for the weekend?
Not yet, but tell me when First Friday is going to start again.
The first Friday in September.
September
6th.
So we're getting right to it.
Getting near there. Yeah.
Right.
September 6th.
Got to start rehearsing.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Get out the old French songs.
Oh, boy.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Fox News Radio. I'm Lillian Wu. In the clash between the Commander-in-Chief and Attorney General Jeff Sessions, more tweets this morning from the president, who wrote,
ex-NSA contractor to spend 63 months in jail over classified information. Gee, this is small potatoes compared to what Hillary did. So unfair, Jeff. Double standard.
Fox's Peter Ducey.
That is the latest in a back and forth that really escalated yesterday when Sessions showed up at the White House for an unrelated meeting minutes after pushing back on the president's complaint that he recused himself from the Russia probe.